But it is impossible. She is cool. She is methodical. She would not stab a man to death. She would sue him in court.
Yep, that's me, acting, live on stage, in front of around 500 people, with basically no experience. You're probably wondering how I got into this situation. It's a bit of a story. My name is Austin. I make videos for an increasingly dwindling audience of like-minded weirdos. About 3 months ago, while undergoing a risky open-heart surgery, I had a stroke. Waking up in a hospital bed with total right-side paralysis, I thought my life was over. But a couple of days after, I decided I had two choices: stay down or get up. I chose to get up. Fast forward through 2 weeks of high-intensity physical therapy, and I was out of the ICU and back on my feet. Sort of. My balance was a bit shaky, my memory a bit cloudy, and in the midst of a pain medicine-induced haze, out of nowhere I thought to myself, hey, I should try community theater. I mean, what better way to push myself, right? Memorize a ton of lines, learn stage blocking, work with an ensemble cast. What better way to rebuild my damaged neural pathways than to dive headfirst into a totally new experience? Right? So despite the doubt and general confusion of friends and family, I went for it, and before I knew it, ended up landing one of the main roles in my local community theater's production of Agatha Christie's Murder on the Orient Express. It's no Broadway budget production, for sure, but there's a charm to community theater that makes it something special, where everyone's effort, no matter how small, truly matters. This is my town's local operation. It's located in the historic Landers Theater, a building that is over 100 years old and probably has a few ghosts in it. The Landers just got renovated this year. They were literally still finishing it by the time practice for our show started, but the facelift hasn't robbed the venue of its charm. This is the construction shop where the set builders keep their tools. It's typically empty during performances, and it's located right off stage, so I've taken to hiding in here between scenes to do breathing exercises in case I start getting nervous. This is the paint shop, where they paint stuff. And this is the costume repair station, where I go whenever I accidentally tear holes in my clothes during a show. This is the prop rack, where the crew keeps all the important items for our show. And this is perhaps the most important area of all, the free candy bin, for which I am eternally grateful. Let's go downstairs to the dressing rooms, right underneath the stage, which is quite handy. Here we are. This is just one section of it. More dressing rooms. More dressing rooms. They did Wizard of Oz, which had I want to say 50 people in it. Look at all the there's different performances that and it just lines the walls. Here we go, men's dressing room. I got two costumes, this suit. This here is my prop pouch shoes. Ah, this is Bonnie.
Hello.
Bonnie does costumes. Bonnie's the best. How long have you worked here, Bonnie?
I've only been here for 2 months.
2 months?
Yeah,
oh, all right. You're about as new as I am. Are you enjoying it?
Yes.
Come up here. Community theater reminds me a lot of that old folktale Stone Soup, where a group of travelers arrive in a small village, tired, hungry, and unable to find anyone willing to offer them something to eat, each villager being reluctant to share what little they had with other people. So one of the hungry travelers comes up with a plan. He builds a fire in the village square, fills a large pot with water, and then drops a stone into it. A curious villager passes by and asks what he's doing, to which the hungry traveler replies, "Me? Oh, I'm cooking stone soup." The villager dips his spoon in for a taste and says, "This soup is terrible. Let me give you a little garnish to bring out the flavor." Pretty soon another villager stops by and asks, "What are you doing?" "I'm making stone soup," the traveler again says, and after taking a sip for himself, the second villager says, "This soup is awful.
Let me give you a few of my carrots. Another villager stops by. What are you making? I'm making stone soup, the traveler says. Soon the third villager offers to pitch in some of their potatoes. Little by little, the villagers, seeing that others were contributing, began adding whatever they had: onions, herbs, salt, a bit of meat, and so on. Before long, the once empty pot is full of a hearty, delicious soup that the entire village gets to enjoy together. Much like stone soup, community theater is all about pitching in what you have, no matter how little it might seem, to make something that can be enjoyed by everyone. Can you alter or repair clothing? Great, try working in costumes. Can you use a hammer? Great, you could help build sets. Whether you're an actor or a ticket taker, if you're willing to contribute your time and be a team player, there's likely something you can do. Everyone works together to bring the show to life, and in return, the show survives thanks to community patronage.
For me, mic check.
This microphone check is brought to you by Squarespace. They can help you put together a beautifully designed website in no time, thanks to their all-new design intelligence, giving you access to easy-to-use tools so that you can build a website that feels uniquely you, no coding required. Whether you're showcasing your art, story, or business, your vision will shine. Let's say you want to start a podcast. Their Audio Blocks feature can get you set up in no time. Plus, you can sell stuff from courses to videos, from memberships to music. You can get started today by going to squarespace.com and starting a free trial. Then when you're ready to launch your site in full, head over to squarespace.com/AustinMcConnell to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
I've had some of my popular YouTuber friends poke fun at me and just ask, why are you wasting your time with this local play? Why not focus more time on growing your channel? Or if you really want to act, why not find a production someplace like LA or New York, someplace that would be better for your career? That's not why I'm doing this. Not everything has to be about making money or growing a following. This is about doing something fun in the arts with my local community.
This experience gave me something the internet couldn't, a chance to meet new people in person. It's funny, every one of my cast members loves the arts, but I don't think that there is a single occasion besides this that would have put us all in the same room together. This is Larry. He plays Detective Poirot in the show. He's retired and has a ton of acting experience under his belt from various productions. I have a ton of scenes with him, and he is awesome to act against. This is Maureen, a total sweetheart who plays Miss Debenham and patiently endures my never-ending attempts to goof off with her just before the curtain gets raised. This is Chris, who, like me, is doing community theater for the very first time. He typically does film and video production and decided to try his hand at the stage. This is Sandy. She's done leading roles in more plays than you can count, and she absolutely brings the house down in every single scene that she is in. Seriously, it's Sandy's play. We're all just living in it. All of these folks have their own regular offstage lives. Some are nurses, some work for local charities, some are retired, some are still in school, but they all have a great love for story and performance. When I showed up for our very first rehearsal and met my castmates, I didn't really know what to think. Would this group of total strangers really be able to pull such a complex show off? Would I be able to keep up, learn my lines, maintain my character's accent, memorize every single action and cue? But slowly, over time, things started to shape up. We began to find our rhythm, and bit by bit, scene by scene, the show grew into its own. And the crew, despite being mostly volunteers, worked like seasoned pros. When the cast moved from our tiny practice room to the actual stage, I wasn't so sure the scenery would be up to snuff. The so-called sets were nothing more than a few flimsy wooden frames, barely held together with a few nails, and the idea that they'd ever pass as a train on stage seemed dubious, but wouldn't you know it, as the weeks passed, things sprang to life. And once my costume was finished and the props were sorted, my acting got better, because it all helped to add another dimension to the world and the character I was playing in it. As the premiere approached, both cast and crew began to move like a well-oiled machine, learning the show as if it were a 2-hour, 15-minute-long, tightly choreographed dance. And like dance, I learned it wasn't just about going through the motions. Each run-through was its own experience, shaped by the moment, by small tweaks and refinements, by reacting to the energy around you. But all the rehearsals in the world can't prepare you for the feeling of that first live show. When the day came, I was nervous. Really nervous. What was I even doing here? Why was I doing this? I had just been through heart surgery. Only 3 months ago, I didn't even know if I'd be able to walk again. Hey, wait a minute. That was 3 months ago? Huh. Look at me now. Come to think of it, what's there to be nervous about? Curtains up. It's showtime.